The most dangerous lie you've ever believed is that change requires a dramatic moment, that your life will shift the day you finally decide to go all in. Wake up at 5 a.m., overhaul your diet, read a book a week, and become a completely different person overnight. But what if everything you've been taught about transformation is exactly what's been keeping you stuck? What about that? In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why the smallest decisions you make every single day carry more weight than any resolution you ever set. Not because motivation is overrated, but because there is a mathematical truth hidden inside ordinary moments that most people walk right past without ever noticing. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Think about where you are right now. Not just physically, but in your career, your relationships, your health, your sense of purpose. Now ask yourself honestly, is this where you expect it to be? Because for most people, the answer is a quiet, uncomfortable no. Not because they're lazy, not because they are incapable of, but because they've been playing the wrong game entirely, chasing big leaps instead of building something far more powerful. Here's the thing nobody talks about when they tell you that dream big. A 1% improvement each day doesn't feel like anything. It's invisible. It doesn't give you a rush of dopamine. It doesn't make a good story at dinner, but compounded over one full year, that 1% daily improvement makes you 37 times better than where you started. 37 times. That's not motivation. That's mathematics. And mathematics doesn't care about your mood. But this isn't really about numbers, is it? Underneath the spreadsheets and the productivity frameworks, there's something much more raw happening. The real struggle here is the fear that you are already too far behind, that the gap between who you are and who you want to be is simply too wide to cross. That emotion, quiet, persistent, deeply personal, is what keeps millions of people frozen at the starting line every single morning of their lives. So let's talk about what actually happens inside that micro decision. You're standing in the kitchen at 10 p.m. You're tired. There's a choice between the easy thing and the slightly better thing. Nobody's watching. Nobody will know about this. Most people choose comfort and they tell themselves it's just this one. But what they don't realize is that they are not just choosing a snack or skipping a workout. They are casting a vote for the kind of person they are becoming. Every single choice is a vote, and identity is built one vote at a time. So this is where most self-improvement advice completely falls apart. It tells you what to do, but ignores the architecture of the moment when you actually have to do it. It skips the part where you are exhausted, where your willpower is depleted, where the version of you that wants to grow is in a silent battle with the version of you that just wants things to stay comfortable. And that battle, it's happening thousands of times a day, in decisions so small you almost don't notice them. So now consider two people. They start at exactly the same place, same resources, same circumstances, same problems. One of them makes choices that are just 1% better each day. The other makes choices that are just 1% worse. They're not dramatically different people. Their days don't look radically different. But in 1 year, the gap between them is not 1%. It's not even 10%. The trajectory of their lives has diverged completely in opposite directions, from decisions that each felt entirely insignificant in the moment they were made. What separates them isn't talent, it isn't luck, it's the understanding that your future self is being constructed right now. In this conversation you choose to have, in the email you choose to send, in the 20 minutes you choose to spend before you go to bed. The compound effect of micro decisions is the closest thing to a superpower that ordinary people have access to, and almost no one is using it deliberately. Here's what you need to understand about how this actually works in practice. You don't need to identify every area of your life and optimize it simultaneously. That approach is exhausting, and it almost always collapses within 3 weeks. Instead, you choose one domain, just one, and you find the single smallest action that moves you into the right direction. So small it feels almost embarrassing. And you do it without negotiation, without waiting for the right mood, without needing the stars to align. But because the goal in the beginning is not progress, the goal is proof. You're proving to yourself one tiny repeated action at a time that you are the kind of person who follows through. That proof accumulates, it rewires how you see yourself. And once your identity shifts, once you genuinely begin to believe that you are someone who does the work, the behavior stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like expression. There's something else you need to hear. And the reason most people never experience this transformation isn't because they fail to find the right strategy. It's because they quit during the period when nothing looks like it's working. The compound curve doesn't reveal itself early. In the beginning, it looks completely flat. The results are invisible. The effort feels wasted. This is the critical window, the phase where everyone who eventually succeeds kept going, and everyone who stayed stuck stopped. So you're going to face that window. Maybe you're in there right now. You're in it right now. And the only thing standing between you and the life you keep describing as someday is your willingness to keep making slightly better choices when it doesn't yet feel worth it. So here's where we close the loop that we opened at the beginning. The lie isn't that you need more motivation, more time, or more talent. The lie is that transformation is supposed to feel big. It doesn't. It feels almost like nothing until the day it feels like everything. The 1% rule doesn't ask you to be extraordinary. It asks you to be consistent. It asks you to take this next smallest step right now in the direction of the person you are choosing to become. One decision, 1%, one day at a time. That is how a life gets rebuilt.